I think it's fair to say that Top Gun Maverick did pretty well. I really enjoyed the movie. Just watched it again recently because the 4K Blu-ray came out, and really enjoyed it the second time I watched it. I think it's a really fun movie, and it's something that we haven't seen from Hollywood in a long time, which is just a fun tentpole movie that just wants to entertain you. That's all it wants to do. It just wants to entertain you. And I really appreciated that because there were a lot of bad movies in 2022. A lot of bad movies. A lot of bad flops. A lot of woke stuff. So when you get a film like Top Gun Maverick, it's really nice. It takes you back, and you get to remember that it was at one time a lot of fun to go see a good movie. No lectures, just entertainment. So it did really well. And there's a little bit of history with this movie and another country called China. Originally, this film was going to censor itself to get into the Chinese market. And thankfully, and I don't know whose decision that was to change things, but they walked that back. Now, originally, and actually not originally because it's still in the movie, there's a flag of Taiwan on, I believe, Maverick's jacket. You don't even notice it in the movie. You don't even notice. I don't remember even seeing it. But it was brought to my attention at the time that they walked that decision back, because originally they were going to censor the flag off of his jacket. Then they changed their mind, and because of that little bitty thing, that little bitty flag on his jacket, China said, "You cannot have this movie here." So it was barred from China. Didn't matter. They didn't need that box office to make any money. They did fine in all the other markets. Same thing with Spider-Man No Way Home. This has been a great thing because for a long time, Hollywood would bend over backwards to please Chinese censors and to try to get their movies in their box office, which is funny because, you know, it might say a movie makes a lot of money in China. Keep in mind, they don't get to keep very much of the profits, not compared to the domestic market here in America or a lot of other markets. The Chinese government takes a big slice from that take. Now, why am I even talking about this? Well, I just found out recently, yesterday actually, when I popped into a Midnight's Edge stream, that this Top Gun Maverick copycat got grounded. The whole movie's actually complete. This is what's funny. So China said, we're going to make our own Top Gun movie and completely rip off Top Gun Maverick. And they did. It's essentially the same damn movie. It's the same damn movie. They even stole scenes from it completely. Like, let me see if I can pull. I don't want to play too much because of the fact that, well, I don't want to get hit with some kind of copyright or something. But there's one scene particular that caught my attention is when they have the jet come up off the ocean. But, like, see, there was Maverick coming back and seeing the old Top Gun facility right there. But it said it's not him, it's somebody else. It's a complete ripoff of Top Gun Maverick. Now, what makes this even more funny than them just ripping off a movie, complete ripoff, by the way, it's literally the same damn movie. Like, here's Iceman's funeral. Like, there's all kinds of shit in here that's you could directly tie to Maverick. Now, like, even this scene. Look, oh, there's that crash plane. Remember that scene? So they grounded this movie, and it wasn't because Paramount said, hey, listen, China, we don't want you to make this utter ripoff. No. They canceled it because their shots of flying planes and stunts are inferior to what was done in Top Gun Maverick. And they didn't want to release it because if they were to put that movie out, it would be embarrassing to the country of China because this movie was made in full cooperation of the People's Air Force. I think that's what they call it. I think they call it the People's Air Force. I'm not 100% sure, but let me read you what was going on here. The People's Liberation Army Air Force is what it's called. They even had pretty much their biggest pop star, Wang Yibo, described as China's Harry Styles. He was starring in the movie. It was also produced with full cooperation from the People's Liberation Army Air Force. So why did it get shelved? It turns out the original Top Gun Maverick was simply too good. Chinese authorities never comment directly on censorship decisions, but the word within the Beijing film industry is that Born to Fly's producers were made to realize that their movie's stunts and visual effects were far inferior to Top Gun Maverick's, and that the Chinese version risked ridicule in comparison, all of which would have been most unwelcome, even politically dangerous, given that the two films are in part propagandistic displays of the United States and China's military strengths, The Hollywood Reporter notes. And we can't have that, by the way, because China always has to look stronger to its people. It's part of the thing in a country like that. So if someone were to get a hold of Top Gun Maverick and you see all of the shit in that movie looking better than this movie, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. Some in China who have seen Born to Fly have said that the movie disappointed the Chinese Air Force because of both its overall perceived shabbiness and its mistaken reference to China's proudly homemade J-20 jet as a fourth-generation stealth fighter rather than correctly a more advanced fifth-generation plane of its kind. Most of all, through the original timing of the underwhelming Chinese film's release on September 30th, couldn't have been more fraught, coming just 2 weeks before the 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist People. So it would have been bad press. This is why you should never just try to rip something off. It always comes inferior. You always want to have your own thing and do your own thing and be a little bit more authentic. But I just thought this was a funny story. They tried to rip it off and they couldn't. Just can't do it. But it is a complete rip-off of Top Gun Maverick. And it's hilarious to see it fail. Of course, China could have been fine. They could have put this movie out and then called over old Joe. He would have gave their president a foot rub the entire movie. For sure. Maybe even licked the boots. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear your comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.